Learn to root online at your own pace in the comfort of your home. Visit the RebornArtistStudio.com for more details. Take your reborning to the next level by visiting eBorns on YouTube. This podcast is brought to you in part by Truborns, producer of authentic kits for over 16 years. Visit Truborns.com for quality vinyl reborn doll kits and silicons.
Hi everyone, I'm Lizbeth Devlin from the Reborn Artist Studio.
Morning everyone, I'm Janie from West Coast Doll Show.
And welcome to another edition of Reborn Rap.
Yeah, good morning.
Hi Janie, how are you doing?
I'm doing pretty good, how are you?
Good, thank you. And as you may have noticed, we have Janie Scott here. Emily is not with us. I don't want to say she's not with us anymore because that sounds dreadful. But I just wanted to talk a little bit because I think last time we had the podcast, Emily said that she was leaving for a while and people thought that there was, something going on with Emily, that she was desperately ill, but she's not. Emily just was, she's just so busy. She has, her products have taken off. She has her YouTube channel that she teaches on. She's got her custom orders. And those are things that she does in the business. But outside the business, she also cares for an elderly family member. And I know that those of you that are part of Emily's tutorials will know that her dog was recently diagnosed with cancer, which is just dreadful. And like you as well, Janie, we're really big animal lovers. We love our puppies, and so the dog is currently going through chemo. And poor May, which is short for Mayhem, I love the dog's name, but May's going through chemo treatment right now. She has chemo every week, which is a long drive for Emily and her husband, and then the dog is usually sick during the week. Dogs are actually supposed to respond to chemo much better than humans do, but the dog has been sick, but she's doing really well. Her blood work and everything is looking wonderful. So, but anyway, those are the kind of things that have been going on in Emily's world. And we didn't even talk about this on the podcast, but she does have a GoFundMe for May. So if you're interested in donating to May's cancer treatments, we're going to put a link in the comments. And if you can't donate, then let's say a little prayer for May, and Emily will be back. Probably in a couple of months, she'll be coming back to the show at some point. But we have our wonderful Janie Scott here. And, we're talking about changing the podcast a little bit anyway. We decided that the more people that we had on the show, the easier it was going to be. So we're hoping that Janie will stay with us for a long time.
Hopefully, yeah. Hopefully if you don't, fire me. So we'll be good.
Well, I haven't fired anyone yet. So
nope.
But it's really great because Janie just kind of jumped in without much notice. And I know that you've got a really, really crazy schedule as well with all the things that you have going on, but maybe I'll give you a chance to speak.
Yeah, no, well, my life is never quiet, but I do well in chaos. So the more chaos, the better I seem to thrive. So
that's a good person to know.
I definitely have a lot going on. Yeah.
Yeah.
The more chaos, the better.
Yeah, and you run a daycare as well too, besides doing all the reborning.
I do. I get to look at children and babies all day long and look at their actual skin and what their skin looks like, what their veining looks like. I get to look at all that. So whenever I have like a question, I just run out there and grab a baby and I just search them and I take some photos. Their parents all laugh at me. They tell me that they're my live little mannequins to look at. And they all laugh whenever they come by. And they come by and they see little body parts outside my house. And they're like, oh, this is like what nightmares are made of, little children body parts everywhere. So,
that's great.
But it's good. 29 years doing daycare.
Yeah. Oh, really? That's a long time.
Yeah.
And most of us only have to put up with our kids for 18 years, but 29 years.
29 years. Definitely a long time. So,
Yeah.
But I love it. I love kids. So that's always been my passion.
Well, good. And you have because you're kind of newer to Reborns, but you're not new to art, you're not new to dolls, but you've got a kind of interesting background. And I know some of our viewers would like to hear about how you ended up getting into reborning.
Well, it really started years ago when I started doing rehab and restoring vintage dolls. You go to yard sales and you find these dolls and you start restoring them, especially like the ones that were from the 50s, even some from the 20s that are made of compressed wood. They're called composite dolls. You have to chip all the paint off, sand them down, because it's not paint, it's like a lacquer. So back in the day, it was like a waxy kind of lacquer that they put on the dolls. Then you sand them down, and I would airbrush them. So I can airbrush. But I've been doing art since I was 14, really kind of more outside my own home since I was 14. And it just kind of spiraled forward. And then I kind of got bored with doing restoring and found Reborns. So then I thought, well, I could do that. I'm Janie. I could do anything.
Love it. And one of the interesting things about when somebody comes from that kind of background, you're just fearless. Because I spoke to you a lot where you're like, oh, well, get this and mix that with that and try this and this. And you were telling me that you've built umbilical cords from, I don't know what the heck you built them from, but it was all kinds of different products. Because you have that restoration background, you're able to jump in and create things.
Yeah, I would say I'm definitely not afraid to use things because I am really good at stripping. So if it messes up, it's gone.
And she means dolls, by the way, for anybody watching.
Yeah, not stripping the babies. Stripping the babies paint off. Yeah. But I'll just strip it. You know me, I tell you all the time, stop messing with that doll, just strip it. you know. Yeah. But I'll strip it and start over. I've never had that fear of starting back over. I know a lot of artists will get frustrated and put the doll aside and start on a whole new kit out of frustration. And I get more frustrated if I can't solve the problem and fix it.
Yeah, I'm kind of the same. I'm not somebody that puts a doll to one side that needs stripped. I usually like to strip them straight away. And if I don't start painting on them immediately, at least they're there if I want to pick them up. I can't have, not to say I don't have a couple of dolls that do need stripping, but yeah, I think sometimes you waste too much time trying to repair. And if you strip, you can just, get going.
So I do. I've been doing Reborns now just about close to 2 years. Okay. And that kind of scares people. They think, oh my gosh, she's only been doing it for 2 years. But I've been doing dolls for many years. And some of them are like Patty Play Pal dolls. I've had to reroute Patty Play Pal dolls. I've had to reroute GOTS dolls. Little Ginny dolls, those little teeny tiny ones that your moms may have had that come in like a little carrying case and they have teeny tiny clothes. And I would repair all the clothes, repair the dolls, repair their wigs, and send them back to the owner. And believe it or not, I did all that for free.
Oh my gosh.
I never charged.
I take a lot of patience with these little teeny tiny things. So sewing as well?
Sewing as well. I would repair their clothes and then send them back, especially when it was a mother's doll and the daughter inherited it and she wanted to restore it, and I would restore them and send them back. And I always did it. It was a straight hobby, so it was never for money for me. It was always for the love of the dolls.
And I think that's the best way to get into reborning, because we see a lot of new artists that jump in and the first thing they're asking is, how much money can I make? But you have to have that passion. And we had Ruth Annette on a show recently, and that's what she was talking about too. Like, you have to have that passion. If you have that passion, the money will come later, but the money shouldn't be a priority. Absolutely. Yeah,
no, definitely. So, and then that brought us to here, I kind of jumped in with both feet and out without even a swimsuit on. I just went, psh.
Well, and you did jump in with both feet because you've only been reborning for 2 years. And, I think I met you 2 years ago, actually, when you were just getting in. Yeah, I was like, who's this chick?
You know what it was? I emailed you or I messaged you on Facebook because I saw your rooting, and I was like, I only message people who I truly just think is phenomenal, right? Oh. And so I had messaged you, and I was like, hey, do you teach rooting? And you were like, no. You were like, no.
I don't remember this.
Yes.
Oh my God.
I still have the original message. And you were like, dear. No. And then your next message was, and I don't root for other people either. I was like, well, I wasn't going to ask.
Oh, no. I'm so sorry.
No. And then a couple weeks later went by, and you said, hey, I think I'm going to put together an online rooting course. and we got to talking, and then you'd said, would you like to be my guinea pig? You're like, would you like to be one of the first students and be a guinea pig to tell me if I'm doing this right, if this is something you can learn from? And I was so excited. I was jumping up and down, and the first person I called was Emily and said, oh, God, Lizbeth is allowing me to be in her class as a guinea pig. And she was like, oh my gosh, I'm so excited for you. She goes, maybe you won't be so jacked up with your rooting now, So she goes, I'm excited to see what will happen. So yeah, that was within a month of me starting Reborning. I was going into your class.
Yeah, and I remember, because I remember you were one of my first students, because the first thing I did was, after I got all the videos together, I thought, well, I understand the videos, but let's see if, if I have students, if they can. So I taught doing a live class, which I said I would never do again. But I remember you in the class because you're such a character. You're so full of energy, and you were just... I was so nervous. I really was. And I wanted a group of people that I thought would help me be less nervous. And that's why I picked you. And there was only 7. I think there was 7 or 8 people.
I think 7 of us. Yeah. You were number 8, so 7.
And I remember you because you were a little... I even remember what side of the camera you were on when I was watching you, because you were an absolute gem. And
I loved it. I still have my original map head. So you did the maps. And I was like, okay, I'm not a paper kind of person. I'm more of a visual person. So I grabbed, as you were talking in the class, I like jump off screen and I grab this doll head that's sitting there, and I take the pin that you had sent us, and I literally followed you on the screen and drew the entire map on this head and wrote notes all over the head, and that head still sits on my desk. Yeah, it sits on my desk.
I remember you writing notes on the head actually during the class. That's wonderful.
And it's my reference. Whenever I'm rooting, I grab this head. He will forever be my map. He's yourself. Yourself is the doll kit, and he's forever my map.
I love it. Well, it was great. And then I guess just from there, that was it. We became
really good friends.
And then we had the opportunity to meet at a doll show. We met up in December, and that was the first time I met you in person, and we had an absolute blast. We went and had a couple of drinks.
Oh, yes, a few drinks. And I felt like I'd known you my whole life.
Yeah,
we've talked so much and have done so much, communication between the two of us that I really felt like I'd known you my whole life. It wasn't like meeting a new friend. It was like, oh, there you are. You finally decided to show up kind of feeling, not a, oh my God, I've waited for this moment. I felt like I've known you my whole
But you
life.
know what, Janie, honestly, I don't think you've ever met anybody other than a friend. I mean, you're just very inviting and easy to talk to, and just it was a blast. It was definitely a highlight of the show, getting to sit down and chit chat with you. But look, and we talked at that point, and you said, and I know that you'd already been thinking about it, but you said, I think I'm going to put a doll show on.
I did. I literally said it over tequila.
And what was that, like 6 months later? You're probably less than that.
No, that was December 8th or December 7th, and I got home on December 12th. I reached out to Holly, a really good friend of mine, and I said, Holly, I'm putting on a doll show. And she said, okay, when? And I said, in February. She goes, girl, that's only 3 months away. There's no way. And I said, no, February 2026. And she was like, okay. She goes, call me after Christmas and let's go do some walkthroughs of some venues. And so we were doing walkthroughs on January 3rd. So December 8th, it was less than a month. And I was doing a walkthrough for a venue.
Incredible. I mean, when you mentioned the doll show, when we were sitting having drinks, knowing you, I knew that if Janie is saying she's going to put a doll show on, Janie's going to put a doll show on.
Yeah.
Like, I love it. You're so confident, and you I guess you're confident in your ability. I mean, it's a huge undertaking taking a doll show on, and look, it's amazing. Look how much you've done.
It is definitely a huge undertaking, but I enlisted some really good helpers. I talked to people in the community and got very good feedback and also good advice. I mean, nobody can do any kind of business, because you look at a doll show as a business, and you have to do your homework and you have to research, the ins and outs. And your best advice is from people that have already been there and done it. So I definitely reached out to other people in the community. And it was so funny. The day I announced, I was terrified. And I get my first email, and it's Bobbi. And she's like, hi. And I go, I panicked. I ran through my house, ran outside, and told my employee that was here at the time. And I was like, Bobbi just messaged me. And she's like, who's Bobbi? And I was like, she's the owner of one of the other doll shows. Do I answer her? And she was like, why are you afraid to answer her? She goes, you're never afraid of anybody. And yeah, so I answered Bobbi. And then that really kind of sparred our friendship. And she was so welcoming and so encouraging for me to take. She was like, I am so glad you're opening a doll show on the West Coast. She goes, it is such a need.
So Bobbi was a really big help to you. You know, Bobbi is, we're talking about Bobbi Barfoot from Truborns. I've got to know her since we had her on the podcast. I didn't know her very well. And she is an absolute gem. I mean, I'd heard about her history of helping, sculptors and artists and so forth. And she is an absolute gem. She really is. I can't say enough about her. And that's just wonderful that she reached out to you. How amazing.
It was very amazing, and then Esther from Irresistibles, she has been also just amazing. And she's kind of, been my go-to whenever I've, not had enough confidence in myself. I can reach out to her and she's like, you've got this, girl. Don't be afraid. She's like, you've never been afraid of anything. So just keep going. The both of them have just been very instrumental in me being where I'm at right now.
I have to say that I know that sometimes I see on Facebook people are posting about how nasty the reborn world is. That hasn't been my experience. And I don't know if I'm just lucky or what, but I've really felt the community being really supportive in everything, that I've tried. I absolutely love our community. I really do. And it's lovely to hear those big names stepping in to help you, because they don't really know who Janie Scott is at this point,
No, they've never met me in person. Esther from Irresistibles had met me that December because I had helped her with a class that she was putting on. Mm-hmm. I was just kind of there to help her and make sure that if she needed anything, I could be there for her. And that's the first time we had met in person. But me and Bobbi, we're waiting for the day. We meet in just a week. I'll be at Dolls of the World, so I'll be there at her show for the second time because I went last year.
Okay, and you're a vendor at the show, correct?
This year I'm a vendor. I'm at table number 85.
Table number 85. Check out Janie.
Yeah. Or I'm terrified if you come by and check me out because I have not had a lot of time. So be prepared. I'm not going to be set up like everybody else.
Where's that confidence gone, girl?
Listen, I'm working hard, but I'll have a few things on my table. But this year's more or less to get to know everybody and get my foot in the door. And next year I'll be really prepared.
I saw a post, I think it was this morning, and I thought about you. Someone posted, is anybody else rooting like crazy trying to get a doll finish for the show? And I had to look because I thought, is that Janie posting that? But it was someone else.
I've had three nights. Yeah, so I've been rooting, this whole last week, and I just, my goal was to get that baby done, and I got her done, and now I've got 2 more.
Yeah, a couple of late nights there too, Janie, if I remember right. 2 o'clock in the morning.
All-nighters, pulling all-nighters.
Hey, girl's got to do what a girl's got to do, right?
Yep, lots of caffeine, and, you get it done. You get it done, and if you don't get it done, it's okay. You just take what you got done, and you go have a good time. That's what it's all about.
So we're always working on enhancing the podcast, and we are looking at kind of changing the format a little bit. And one of the things that we wanted to do was, we have a lot of viewers that are in Australia and in the UK. And because we're in the US, we're not always privy to what's going on in the, Australia or in England. So we decided to invite what we're calling correspondents. So we have Holly Piper, who's from Australia, and she is actually she initiated the RAA. So Holly is going to be our Australian correspondent. And we asked Ruth Annette to be our British correspondent. I love saying that, our British correspondent. And basically what they'll be doing is they'll be reporting on things that are happening in their perspective countries. and just kind of keeping us updated with things that go on, because we don't always have the doll show information, or if there's any gossip. Oh, we're not big on gossip, but if there's anything going on in that side of the, those across the pond, they'll be able to keep us up to date and abreast of what's going on. And both of them are lovely. Holly is just absolutely wonderful, very organized and detail orientated. And of course, Ruth as well, who is a bundle of fun, and she goes to a lot of the doll shows in the UK. So stay tuned for their segments.
Oh, I'm so excited because I'll be the only one on here without an accent. You guys all have accents.
Well, here's the thing, Janie. To us, you have an accent.
And I think I sound normal.
No, you've got an American accent, trust me.
Oh, no. Well, and then, we're going to do some viewer participation. And I think that, between having some new correspondence and some viewer participation, I think we're going to have a lot of fun. Part of our viewer, participation is if you're going to the doll show, which is Dolls of the World, and it's literally a week away, send us your favorite baby. Send us the favorite baby you're taking to the doll show. Send us a photo. I know that doll show is all about the weather, so it's spring, summer, winter, and autumn. And you could take some cute photos of what your favorite baby is that you're going to be sending. And then when you do send those photos, please send them to our Reborn Rap Podcast Facebook group. And that way we can get them easily and kind of keep track and be able to talk about them in our next segment. I think it'd be great. I can't wait to see all the babies. And it could be a baby that you've painted. It could be a baby that you're taking that is just a doll that you've bought from another artist. Whatever your favorite baby is, if you're an artist or a collector, I would love to see them.
Yeah, and of course, we are talking about authentic kits only.
Yes, only authentic. Well, that's the only babies you can take to that doll show. So she doesn't.
Yep, that's right.
Bobbi's, she doesn't allow any counterfeit in, which none of the doll shows should.
Yeah, absolutely. And then we'll be doing other things too. We might ask you guys to send us a little video, but we thought it would be nice, like each podcast, if we ask, or maybe one podcast a month, if we ask for you guys to participate. And we're always interested in hearing your feedback. So if you have a guest that you would like us to have on the show, or perhaps a topic that you would like us to discuss, just reach out to us on Facebook, or you can add a comment in YouTube under the comment section, and we always read those comments, and we're always interested to hear what you've got or ideas you have.
Absolutely, because the Reborn community is huge, and I know so many people have so many nice things to say and great ideas. And I only have one brain, and you only have one brain. We need more brains. We need more people giving us some ideas and some fun topics,
Exactly. And also, too, don't forget, when you submit those pictures, make sure you have your name on it so we can identify you. And if you're a collector, it would be also nice if you could put the artist's name on the picture as well.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah. And then speaking about participation, we're also looking to introduce you guys to new products that we find. So if we discover a product out there and we think it's wonderful and we want to talk about it, we're going to have it on the show. So if you know of a product that you like, or, if you make pacifiers, or if you make, shoes or something like that, reach out to us. Let us know about your product. The only stipulation that we do have is that we do like you to send us one of the products, not so we can get a freebie, but just so that
we could see it. Yeah.
Right. Exactly. And maybe it is so we can get a freebie, Janie. What about that?
Maybe you'll have to share with me, because if they're sending them to you, you're going to have to share the love. Like, you're going to have to have them send me some too.
Well, we usually have them send one to Emily and one to me, so that we could kind of discuss like what we thought of the product, because we want to make sure that the products that we're kind of endorsing or talking about, they've got to be, sound quality. And we will have a product coming up in the next one. I just got a new product shipped to me, and I love this product. But
I can't wait to see it.
We'll talk a little bit more about that in the next next podcast. And typically what we try and do is we try and feature your product when we have a celebrity guest. So hopefully your product will get a lot of views and maybe bring some sales your way, or
Heck yeah. And you've had something pretty exciting happen. I mean, there's been some things happening in your life in the last few weeks. So let me hear about it. What did you have happen?
Well, so a couple of things. I finished Bep, and I'm sure if you've been on my page or you've watched the podcast, I am so in love with this kit. To get such a beautiful kit for your first prototype is just, to get a prototype is a dream. To get a kit like this as a first is just absolutely, I love this kit.
She's stunning.
She was a breeze to paint. I honestly, I said this to Joylyn, it's kind of hard to make this doll look ugly. like the paint just glided on her really nicely. And of course, she photographs really well as well. And I had so much fun that it was kind of hard when I finished her to go back to painting, just another kit. Afterwards.
No, absolutely. And that particular sculpt, I remember when she was sculpting her and seeing you so excited on every photo that she posted. You just, that baby was meant for you. And when she chose you and announced it, I was screaming. I was like, yes. That is definitely meant for you. Her little thighs, her little chunky thighs are probably gorgeous. My favorite that I've seen in so long. It looked so realistic, and Joylyn did a really good job taking her time with sculpting it and taking good feedback as she posted photos. She was listening to people, and that baby is absolutely stunning. You did amazing. Your photos have just been amazing, and you keep posting new photos, which is making me so jealous because you already have her, and she's not coming out for a little while, but there is a surprise about her.
There is. So her pre-order date is June 22nd, but Bobbi announced that there will be 100 kits available at Dolls of the World Doll Show. So if you're going to Dolls of the World, there's only 700 kits being released. 100 of them will be at the Doll Show. This kit is going to sell out so fast because it's absolutely gorgeous looking.
So fast.
And you're going to the doll show, so I'm guessing you're going to snag a couple.
I'm going to the doll show. I'm gonna attempt to snag a couple. We'll hopefully I can beat everybody in line and get there first and definitely get a couple. Yeah. That's my goal. But there's a few kits coming out at the doll show.
There is.
I know that
Christopher.
Nikki Johnston is releasing Christopher at the doll show. And I don't know how many kits for sure yet that she's releasing, but I do know there is going to be some at the doll show with his beautiful belly plate. That belly plate of Christopher's by Nikki Johnston, she did just amazing sculpting it. All the little details, the little divots right above the belly button. It's just beautiful. I can't wait to get my hands on it.
Yeah, Nikki Johnston does an incredible job with her kits. She really does. So look out for Christopher at the doll show. And if you're not following the doll show Facebook page, get on there because Bobbi puts a lot of updates on there and keeps you abreast of what's going on. I'm not able to make it to the Dolls of the World this year, but I definitely will be planning to go next year. And it's one of those doll shows that I really, really wanted to go to this year.
Yeah, this will be my second time going to Dolls of the World, and it honestly brought the love of the doll show for me. Like, it was my first time. I was starstruck. Like, I remember walking in and seeing everybody in the lobby hanging out with all their babies, and I thought, oh, this is my people. These are my people. And, because you don't get to do that in the real world. Like, you don't get to go to the mall and hang out with people. So, It's going to be amazing. It's going to be a good show. I'm excited to be there. I just hope I get everything done that I need to get done before I go. And if not, I'm just going to go and have fun.
You will. You'll get it all done. So if you're in the area, check out the Dolls of the World Doll Show. And that's at Greensboro, North Carolina. And if not, follow the page and check out everything that's going on.
Yeah. So can't wait to see everybody.
So Janie, I guess I need to remember this because I always forget to talk about the premiere. So we do a premiere with every show. Our podcast is now going back up to 2 again. So we'll have a podcast on the 1st of the month and the 15th of the month. And the podcast is released at 12 noon Eastern Standard Time. And we do a live premiere. So we don't have a lot of guests, but we usually have a lot of viewers that will come and just watch the premiere with us, and we can chit chat to each other while we're watching the premiere. It's really good.
Yeah. It's really fun. I think that's fun. I think that's really, really kind of engaging. So, we can all watch together and laugh and get the feedback. I'm excited.
Absolutely.
I'll be in Greensboro during the premiere, so I'll be watching it live there.
Wonderful. And when we have a guest on, time difference permitting, a lot of the time the guests will join in and do the live premiere. So if you want to join us for the premiere for, well, obviously I can't tell you to join us for this premiere because it'll be over. Oh dear, just let me put my blonde head on again. But anyway, the 1st and the 15th at 12 noon Eastern Standard Time, we have a premiere. But the best way to get a reminder of that premiere is to
smash that subscribe button. Smash that subscribe button.
So Janie,
Yes.
what do you think you did on the first podcast? Will you come back for a second?
I think I will be back. I think this is a good jam. I think we get along well, and I'm excited, and it gives me something else to do for my ADHD brain, and some more fun things for me.
Yeah, as if you didn't have enough on your plate already.
I know, right? Like I just like to keep adding. I'm a 10-course meal kind of plate person, not a 1-course meal. And my body, shows 10-course meal. So
yeah, well, you've done really good actually. I haven't had to clip or cut you out much.
yeah, that's great. There won't be too many bloopers from this one.
All right, ready?
That makes sense.
Okay. Hi everyone, I'm Lizbeth Devlin from a Reborn Artist Studio. You gonna speak?
Oh, sorry. I already screwed it up. Okay. Start over.
All right, no, you're fine. No bloopers at all. All of the bloopers are mine. I am absolutely the blooper queen. If people saw how many mistakes I really made, I mean, honestly, half the podcast ends up on the cutting room floor.
I think that's what makes it so fun, though. It's the genuine and the bloopers and, the giggling and, that's what makes it fun for me. So You will never get that boring aspect for me. I have to keep up with you because you're so bubbly and smiley, and I want to be you when I grow up. So
I don't think Janie Scott and boring has ever been in the same sentence. Ever.
Well, maybe not, but I feel it sometimes.
Well, you've done great. You've done really. I know there's some pretty big shoes to step into, and
definitely,
but you've done great. And we miss Emily a lot, and Emily will be back at some point, and then there'll be the three of us.
Yeah, it'll be good. So
expanding that
all right.
family.
Well, I'm excited, and I can't wait to see this on the air. And then I'll be at Dolls of the World, and then I'll be walking around asking everybody at Dolls of the World, "Did you see the podcast? Did you see the podcast?" So expect to see me at Dolls of the World asking you, "Did you see my podcast?" So I definitely want to hear people's feedback.
Love it. Well, it's been great having you on the show, Janie.
Thank you.
It really has.
Thank you.
All right, Janie, you ready? It's that time.
It's that time. So let me see if I can get this timing down.
Okay. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Reborn Rap. That's a wrap.
Oh, there's definitely a delay. Okay. That one was way off.
There's a delay.
Oh.
She's not delayed. There's a filming delay. Okay. Does that make you feel better,
There's a filming delay. Yeah, that makes me feel
All right,
better.
guys.
All right,
Thanks
guys.
for watching. We'll see you next time.
Thanks,
Janie.
See you next time. Bye.